H&S Builders Merchants Limited, leading suppliers of timber, sand, cement, bricks, blocks, fencing, power tools, electrical, plumbing, and all building materials. Call our Catherine Road branch on 0208 470 2740 or our Purfleet Yard on 01708 860 522. That's 01708 860 522. Builder ਭਰਾਵਾਂ ਦੇ ਲਈ special discount.
ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਸਿਰ ਦਾ ਹੋ ਤਾਜ ਸੋਹਣਿਓ ਮੇਰੇ ਲਈ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੋ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਸੋਹਣਿਓ
UK Box Office brings to you Gurdas Man
ਪੰਜ ਦਰਿਆਵਾਂ ਦਾ ਪਿਆਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਣ ਜੋ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਸਵਾਰ ਬੁਰੇ ਦਿਨ ਰੋਜ਼ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ
UK Tour 2025 Yaar Punjabi performing live at OVO Wembley Arena London on Sunday 13th of July. Book your tickets now at ukboxoffice.net.
ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਚਿਰ ਹੋਰ ਇਸ ਟੁੱਟੇ ਘੱਟ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਪੈਣਾ ਤੇ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਬਿਲਡਰਾਂ ਦਾ ਮੂੰਹ ਦੇਖਣਾ ਪੈਣਾ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਭਣਾ ਕੋਈ ਚੱਜ ਦਾ ਬਿਲਡਰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਹੀ ਲੱਭਣਾ ਪਊ
ਉਹ ਮੈਡਮ ਜੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਫਿਕਰ ਕਾਹਦੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ ਮੇਰੀ ਗੱਲ ਸ਼ਰਮਾ ਕੰਟਰੈਕਟਰਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੋ ਚੁੱਕੀ ਹੈ ਸ਼ਰਮਾ ਕੰਟਰੈਕਟਰਸ ਲਿਮਿਟਿਡ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ new builds flats all ground works and specialist in indoor and outdoor swimming pools also council approved और नाले काम दी पूरी गारंटी दिंदे ने आज ही शर्मा contractors ਨੂੰ ਫੋਨ ਕਰੋ for the most competitive quotes contact Pavan on 07533 440486.
Doing an extension, doing a loft conversion, fed up of looking at expensive building material prices? Shop with Cymax instead, one of the leading timber and builders merchants in the area. Head over to our online store at cymax.com. That's SAIMAXX.com. Check prices and real-time stock availability or visit our store in Raynham, Essex. Just plug RM13 8UH into your sat-nav. See you soon.
Cymax are currently recruiting HIAB lorry drivers and warehouse staff. For further details, telephone 0203 051 5171.
क्या खूब लगती हो बड़ी सुंदर दिखती हो
ये तो स्वागत ज्वेलर के गहनों का कमाल है जो 16 सिंगार से भी बढ़कर हैं।
Swagat Jewelers been serving the community for over 20 years. Guaranteed hallmark gold.
Take advantage of Swagat Jewelers once a month special offer.
Swagat Jewelers are stockists of precious and semi-precious stones. We also make jewellery from your designs.
Specialist for wedding jewellery.
Swagat Jewelers 121 Ilford Lane, Ilford. IG1 2RN. Telephone 0208 553 4296. Swagat Jewelers also do valuations and insurance claims. Best price for old gold. A segment is past 12 o'clock and it's the 30th of May. On top of that, it's Friday. The weekend has just begun. Absolutely fantastic outside. The weather is looking hot, hot, hot. I just hope it remains that way all throughout the weekend. Lots going on and lots happening. And as every Friday in the community hour, we got Shahid from Blossom. We say very good morning to him. First of all, hi Shahid, how are you doing?
Hello, how are you, Tari?
Not too bad, not too bad. Feeling hot, hot, hot.
Sometimes, England, you shouldn't, you don't know what's going to happen in the next 10 minutes.
I always remember that there used to be a program called, what was it, Thunderbird or Stingray, something, I think?
Okay, yes, Thunderbird.
Anything can happen in the next half hour. So you never know with with our British weather, anything can happen. It might be hailstone or snow coming next. You don't know.
Yes.
But that's the exciting part of it. How are you keeping? How was your week?
No, obviously, I mean, let me start off with Sat Sri Akal, good afternoon, namaste, assalamu alaikum to all our communities that are listening out there. Last week, I realized I'm getting older. So what happened is my daughter kindly
reminded you?
Well, she took me to a program of 50 years of Sholay.
Oh yeah, wow, that was 50 years.
It was 50 years ago. And I can remember it well because we went to watch. It's a movie that we went to watch
in Mile End Cinema.
Yes, in 1975.
Wow.
Mile End Cinema in Liberty, and it started at 12 o'clock, and that was well beyond my sleeping time. And it went on to about 3:30. This film was just so long.
My God!
But what a great movie!
It was a classic.
Suddenly 70 millimeter hit us on the face, and the volume was so beautiful. And Gabbar Singh, oh wow!
Oh no, he was. Wasn't it? That was darling, wasn't it?
Yes.
Actually, one of our presenters did a little theme on that. In a restaurant, he did all his dialogues, and it was quite good.
Oh, the program was beautiful. I mean, these guys who held it in Stratford Theatre. It was so good. They were sang all the songs. Then they done some memorial to Hema Malini and to Amjad Khan. Because Amjad Khan, both of these, one of the celebrities, Amjad Khan passed away a few years ago.
He came to Ilford. I still remember him going into Ilford Town Hall.
Wow.
Wow. And Barkey as well. I still remember that, following him around. There must have been about 300-400 people behind him.
He was scary. This was a villain that you didn't want to meet.
But he was a nice guy.
He was a really lovely guy. But
other than that,
yes, when in his movie, and he used to have that saying that the children, the mothers, what they do in the night, they don't say go to sleep. They say because Gabbar is going to come and get you.
That became the phrase, didn't it? It was. But it's good. It's 50 years gone by. I think another 50 years. I wonder how they're going to celebrate that again.
I hope to be here.
100th centennial. Really?
Yes.
Oh my God! You love this planet that much?
Well, the thing is, I only know this planet, so I don't know what's going to happen next.
Well, there's another nice one somewhere else.
Okay. If you're going to be there, Tari, let's do it.
Few hundred million light years away. I'm sure there is.
That's fantastic.
We're not alone in the galaxy. I know that for sure. I love Star Trek. I'm sure we're going to get beamed up somewhere else after this little saga.
Okay. I'll be with you then.
I'll let you know. No, of course you can. No. We'll all be together. I think everyone who meets in this planet, I'm sure they're together in the next life as well. If there is anything, who knows?
We don't know. We don't know. And today is obviously, we want to talk about something which is very, very pertinent to all our particular communities. And sometimes we don't understand it because we equate it with something totally different. And that obviously is something which is dear to our hearts, which is autism. And how that affects our particular communities, different communities and different people. And we're so lucky to have two professionals in this particular field. And we've got Christina with us and we've got Gronya who are going to be explaining what autism is, hopefully giving it some awareness. I've got to be very honest with our listeners. Very, very nervous, very, very worried, but I told them it's a total no problem at all. And you see she's laughing now already.
Good. That's very good. Gronya, very good morning to you. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me today.
No, it's a pleasure. It's always good to get experts in the studio and talk about things that affect families. So you know more than us.
Oh, well, I'll just explain maybe first where I'm from. So I'm part of the Language Communication and Interaction Service. I'm lucky enough to be a part of that fantastic team.
Right.
We are part of the Specialist Education Support Service in the London Borough of Newham. And our job is really to support children who have social communication needs, including autism, and some children and young people with developmental language disorder. And we do this in mainstream primary and secondary schools, and there's also an early years part of our service as well. So we do some individual work with pupils, and a lot of our role is around training. So we do a lot of training for school staff, and we have a training offer for parents and carers as well.
Right.
Yeah. So
that's good. How deep do you go into into this the field which affects everybody, especially children?
Yeah, well, I think there is that saying that if you've met one autistic person, you've met one autistic person, and every one of them is unique and individual. So it's, I would say, more about getting to know the person as an individual, and that's where the depth of how we get into goes, really, in order, to figure out how best to support them and their families.
But how do you monitor? How do you find out that somebody's got autism? What's the signs?
Oh, what are the signs? Okay, well, autism is a diagnosis that's given, it's kind of a behavioural diagnosis, so there's no blood test for it as such. It's about behaviours that you might observe, or the child or young person or an adult might report that they're experiencing themselves. So they would be experiencing differences in their social life or social interaction, and then also what's sometimes called repetitive behaviours, but that would really be about a different way of processing information. So those people might have a preference for, or be really good at figuring out information that involves repeated patterns, but maybe they might find social information a little bit trickier to unpick, and to, maybe being able to tell what another person is thinking or what they're feeling. That might present a little bit more challenges. But maybe I can pass over to Christina, who'll probably be able to explain a little bit more about the diagnostic process.
Yeah, Christina, good afternoon to you. How are you? Hope you're well and enjoying the weather and enjoying New Sound Radio as well. It's absolutely fantastic to have you in the studio. So, Christina, welcome to New Sound Radio.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
How are you?
I'm well. I'm well.
So tell us a little bit about what's your background and how you're involved in this project.
Okay, so I am Newham's Autism Strategic Delivery Board's co-chair. So the Newham Autism Action Plan is a first joint adults and children's autism plan that is set out to deliver on 6 priority areas outlined in the National Autism Strategy. So I chair meetings and I feed it back through our Autistic Residents Advisory Group. So me personally, I am autistic. I was diagnosed at 39, so that was last year, just before my 40th birthday. It didn't come as a surprise because I was raising 2 autistic sons, 18 and 7. So I think I kind of knew for a while that there was a chance I was also autistic. But it felt empowering, but it also felt a little bit like bittersweet because it felt like there were some lost years of maybe support or understanding. And now looking back, I can identify what was autism and not just me being difficult or odd.
So tell how, say if you're in a family and no one knows anything about this, and that you just going on day-to-day normal life. What are the signs? What are the? Is there anything where you can pick up simple stuff which which people or the parents or individuals should look out for?
I would say I was always quite an anxious child, and that's probably not changed now. I'm just as anxious, but very also reserved. So I would always sort of watch what everyone was doing, almost take it in, to see how I then need to act, quote unquote, to fit in. My mother and father told me I was always quiet, but also quite emotional. I didn't like change. I didn't really like, going to other people's houses or using their facilities. I was very rigid in my behaviour. So I'm surprised they didn't pick up on it. But however, I will say growing up, being of South Asian and Caribbean background, I've never heard of my family talk about any kind of neurodivergence or autism, ADHD, or even mental health. I never heard any of my family speaking about suffering with mental health, and there are clear signs that there were people suffering with mental health. Unfortunately,
in the South Asian community especially, they don't talk about things. They brush it under the table or whatever, and they think there's nothing wrong.
Yeah.
But nowadays, things are coming open, things are happening, and things are more visible.
Yeah.
And the signs are there. But do you think it's lack of education amongst parents
I
or
think
people?
Part of it is lack of education, but a part of it is within your community.
Yeah.
There's a stigma.
Yeah.
You don't want to seem less than, or you're not capable.
Yeah.
So people think if you have this difference,
Yeah.
you're not able to get on in life how others or
Yeah.
neurotypicals do.
Yeah.
So, and I have people look at me and say, "Oh, but you don't look autistic."
Yeah, you don't.
And I will say there's not a way of looking autistic. It's a spectrum. So you got people with higher needs, and you got people with just maybe a little less needs. But there's no one way of what autism looks like. And like Grania just said, once you've met one autistic person, you've only met one autistic person. So if you do have a loved one, a friend, family member, it's about you getting to know them as a person, not the textbook. The textbook will tell you they can't make eye contact, they line up things, they flap hands, and you will find that's not completely true amongst the whole of the...
So everyone's got their own little theory, but it's individual experience and getting to know and seeing the behaviour and the pattern.
Yeah.
So it really is like an analytic process where you have to not carefully monitor you or the person who's got autism, but you have to learn about them and getting to know them.
And just not, especially people who are raising children. Because we believe there's good behaviour, bad behaviour.
With children,
And my youngest son has days where he doesn't want to walk on the left side of the road, he wants to walk on the right side of the road.
Oh.
And I go with it.
Yeah.
Maybe before, knowing anything about it, I would have said, no, we're going, because we're going to school, let's go. But now, this must be a reason. It could be the flowers or the leaves. He wants to pick a leaf. We have to look at it. So it's about you taking the time out, not having your own agenda as the parent. Yes, you may have to go to school and you've got a time limit, but just taking those extra couple of minutes to just see what it is, because in turn, not taking those couple of minutes may lead to a meltdown or them being overwhelmed and getting really upset of something that you could have just taken a minute out of your time for.
So it's really making time and managing the time that you spend with them and learning the difference. Amazing. That is amazing. And there's no you can't even call it a medical condition, can you? You can't say it's medically...
It's a developmental.
It's mentally.
Developmental. So some people may do things at different stages in life, or there may be a delay in their behaviour, and that delay goes on to even knowing about yourself. So it's not, you don't catch it. And I just really want to highlight, we're never trying to cure it. There's no cure. It's a lifelong condition. And how we can make change is by acting now. No point finger pointing or blaming, why didn't they do, why didn't they know. Let's do it now. Let's make the change now.
So it's basically, as soon as you find out, or as soon as you see the symptoms or the signs, go with it. Make take that step and help in any way possible, wherever you can sort of guide or take time and say, no, you can't do this, you have to do this my way. So you don't want, you can't force things onto the person.
No.
So you got to go with their flow of life and their way of thinking. To an extent.
Because I will say there's a lot of autistic people that are quite sensitive. And it could be physically sensitive, it could be to sound, it could be to light. So just knowing, maybe you've put a piece of clothing on your child and the tag at the back to someone else, it might feel soft, but to them actually feels like it's someone scratching into you. So how does that set them up for the rest of the day? So it's those little things that we're looking at.
I suppose where a child is concerned, because he relies on you as a parent, so you've got to make that move and guide them, help them. If you force them to do, no, this is, if you think it's wrong, and he thinks he's wrong, but you think he's right.
Yeah.
So you can't. Basically, that's what the signs are. Then
Yeah.
the parent have to go along with the child.
Yeah.
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 It is. But it's one of those things where, you know, people automatically think that they know best.
Yeah. And you know, it's not a right or wrong, but it's just about being willing to learn. As you go along, you're still learning. I'm still learning about myself. I'm still learning about my 2 children.
Yeah.
And you just take it day by day. It's no right or wrong answer.
Yeah.
But seeking help, I would say, is definitely a good thing, whether your loved one is in school or having a good relationship with school, with the SENCO, which is the Special Educational Needs Coordinator.
Yeah.
And making plans for what are the next steps.
Yeah.
Because like I said, it's lifelong.
Lifelong, yeah.
So it's the sooner you can get in there and decide, okay, what are we going to do, what we're going to help, the better, I would say.
But would you say that the process, I mean, once you find out that you're autistic, would you say that it's a slow process, but you are like, I mean, there's no way of saying you're getting better, but adjusting to the way of life.
So I would say since I got my diagnosis, I'm more kinder to myself.
Yeah.
Because I felt I needed to fit in with what everybody else was doing.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, you know, they're going on London transport. Why am I finding it so difficult? But I would maybe force myself, but it's causing me such pain to do so. But I'm like, okay, you've got to do it because everyone else is doing it. So now I know there is a difference in me. I'm so much more kinder to myself. No, I cannot take public transport. No, I will not answer the phone because I find phone calls difficult.
Yeah.
I could send you 10,000 emails a day,
yeah.
but a phone call.
No.
is a no.
And that's when me saying being on air is like being on a phone call. Now you're talking to people, I'm sitting in front of you instead of at the other end of the phone. So you got to look at the funny side as well. But, you know, to accept it, like what you've done, that's a big step. You know, that in itself is half of the battle. You know, you've won half of the battle. And being here now, you're doing a wonderful job. I mean, it's, I don't know, sometimes it's good to be normal. You know, I've always been different. You know, I never follow the sheep.
Yeah.
I want to be different. You know, like if somebody's walking that way, I'll go to the left.
Yeah.
If somebody's going straight, I'll go backwards. You know, things like that. But, you know, in your mind, how you accept and how you process situations, sometimes that plays a big part.
Yeah.
You know, with yourself as well. Do you find that, you know, when you see a situation, do you analyze it in such a way that the process, you know, takes a few minutes or a few seconds, but then you quickly decide, and that you don't want to be there, you want to be there.
Yeah.
Does that happen?
So you literally take it apart bit by bit. You over analyze.
Yeah.
And it may take another person 5 minutes to do.
Yeah.
However, because I've over analyzed it, it's now become a big task.
Yeah.
I will say getting through 24 hours for me feels like an accomplishment.
Really?
Because there's so many layers on just even leaving the house. I hate the school run because I don't know, I said good morning to that person yesterday. Do I say it again? If I don't, what would that look? It's literally layers upon layers. So
what if you just blanked your mind and say, I'm going to do this, I've got to go to the school run, drop the kids and come back. Don't look at anyone, pretend you're looking at your phone. I mean, things like that. Do you ever do that?
I mean,
could you do that?
If I tried, I would still be like,
thinking.
So it's just on another level.
It is challenging, I suppose, you know, when you think that way, because when you start analysing everything around you, what you do, you know, your speech, or like with the phone calls and stuff like that, it's a big challenge to an individual.
Yeah.
You know. So there's meditation, or yoga, or walk in the park by yourself.
I don't mind.
What helps? What would help?
For me personally, I'm very nostalgic, so I love watching 70s and 80s movies.
Wow.
And I feel I just get lost
in there.
You're
not the only one. I love them as well. I love 70s. They were a different brand. It was a different.
I will say I'm a big Disney fan also. So watching cartoons really takes my mind away from reality. You're just in another world, and when I'm feeling overwhelmed, that's what I do.
That's your therapy in a way.
That is, for me.
So you watch a lot of movies?
Watch a lot of movies, a lot of cartoons. And I will say music. Also.
That's another big therapy. That's very therapeutic,
because I didn't realise how much I needed to have my earphones in. If I'm in a store, or even if I'm at home, that's how I'm most productive, when I've got the music in my ears.
Really?
Once they're out, it's too much stimulation.
All right, on that note, we're going to take a little short commercial break, and then we'll come back and talk some more. It's very fascinating and absolutely brilliant, the information you're giving us. So we're going to take a short commercial break, and then we'll be back.
Advertise on New Sound Radio. For further details, telephone 020 8 472 9994.
Hey, seems like you're doing really well for yourself.
Thanks, just moved into a new office building in Whitechapel and it's really helped my business. I'm getting new clients every day and the location is just fantastic. It's close to the city, central London and all the major transport links.
I could do with a new office. I'm in the middle of nowhere and my clients are struggling to visit me.
Well, they have a few more offices available. Why not give them a call on 0207 523 5318. Mel Business Centre, 56 to 60 Nelson Street, London E1 2DE.
Taj Carpet, largest carpet stockholders in Ilford. Quick fitting service. Taj Carpets की fantastic deals का फायदा उठाएं. आज ही अपने घर को शानदार बनाएं. Suppliers of top quality laminates, lino, carpets and much more. हमारे guaranteed low price का फायदा उठाइए. आज ही मिनाल से संपर्क कीजिए.
Taj Carpets, 2B Hickling Road off Ilford Lane. For further information, call Minal on 0203 632 1414.
Top of the range of award-winning and British-made carpets with 10 to 20-year warranty.
Don't just choose any carpet, choose Taj Carpet.
बिल्डरों के लिए special offers and special deals from Taj Carpet. Taj Carpets free estimate और free fitting offer करते हैं.
Eternity Events returns to GK Lounge for another unforgettable ladies' night with complimentary Prosecco and mocktails on arrival, welcome canapes, a 3-course meal, non-stop music by DJ Krish, live door performance, raffle, best dressed prize, all taking place on Friday the 13th of June at GK Lounge, Ilford, IG1 1LQ from 7 p.m. till late. For tickets, contact Dolly on 0746 573 6536.
Power Roofing Limited. नए रूफ्स ते रिपेयर लई असी GRP waterproofing, slate roofs, felt roofs, UPVC fascias, lead work te complete waterproofing with specialist staff. Established the experienced roofers, Power Roofing. Lofts te extension da भी कम कर देने. Appointment book करन लई हुने ही call करो 077 3079829. That is 077 3079829. या call करो 0207 998 6686. Power Roofing full insured है ते अपने काम दी गारंटी भी दिन देने. Power Roofing council तो approved है.
Swagat Jewelers proudly presents, in association with the Bright Stars, New Sound Radio 92 FM and J.K. Shah Accountants, ek rangeen sham, winner of India's Got Talent, Choti Lata with Ishita Vishwakarma. Accompanied by Hitesh Gosani, voice of Mukesh.
जो तुमको हो पसंद वही बात कहेंगे.
Tejal Vishwakarma, Hasti Pandya and Vicky on Saturday 7th of June at Woodbridge High School, St. Barnabas Road, entrance between 205 to 207 St. Barnabas Road, Woodford Green, IG8 7DQ. Tickets are only £15, £20 and £25, which includes a vegetarian lunch from 5:30 to 7 p.m. Show starts at 7:30 p.m. For bookings, call Ashwin Trivedi on 07956 278 07728 or Hitesh on 07779 007 013. Kajal Patel on 07871 544 192.
ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਚਿਰ ਹੋਰ ਇਸ ਟੁੱਟੇ ਘੱਟ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਪੈਣਾ ਤੇ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਬਿਲਡਰਾਂ ਦਾ ਮੂੰਹ ਦੇਖਣਾ ਪੈਣਾ। ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਭਣਾ ਕੋਈ ਚੱਜ ਦਾ ਬਿਲਡਰ, ਲੱਗਦਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਹੀ ਲੱਭਣਾ ਪਊ।
ਉਹ ਮੈਡਮ ਜੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਫਿਕਰ ਕਾਹਦੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ? ਮੇਰੀ ਗੱਲ ਸ਼ਰਮਾ ਕੰਟਰੈਕਟਰਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੋ ਚੁੱਕੀ ਹੈ। ਸ਼ਰਮਾ ਕੰਟਰੈਕਟਰਸ ਲਿਮਿਟਿਡ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ new builds, flats, all ground works and specialist in indoor and outdoor swimming pools, also council approved। और नाले काम दी पूरी गारंटी दिंदे ने। आज ही शर्मा कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स नु फोन करो। For the most competitive quotes, contact Pavan on 07533 440486.
CNC Building Supplies, CNC DIY and Trade Store.
CNC stocks sand, cement, bricks, blocks and lots more.
Free advice available for DIY customers. Massive trade offers. Come in store to take advantage of the new offers at CNC Building Supplies, 10 Thames Road, Barking, IG11 0HZ. Call Mandeep or Amma today on 0208 507 7567.
CNC also stock
all drainage and soil fittings,
plumbing and roofing materials.
Same day delivery.
At JK Shah Accountants, we do account preparation for sole traders, minicab drivers, partnership and limited companies. We also provide various other services. For example, management accounts, bookkeeping, business advisory, strategic planning, cash flow forecast, company formation, VAT, company secretarial, payroll, auto enrollment, CIS, personal tax return and tax planning. We also specialize in cloud accounting. We believe in working smart. Why not visit JK Shah Accountants on 572 to 574 Rumford Road, Manor Park, London, E12 5AF. You can also call us on 0208 553 2436.
Right, it's 12:36 and it's the 30th of May, as I was saying earlier. It's a Friday. We've got Christina and Grania in the studio with Shahid talking about autism, and Christina just gave a brief about autism, how it affects and what it's all about and how the signs are shown and all of that. So now we're going to ask Grania, how would you what Christina was just talking about now, how would you put that in a nutshell, and how can people sort of look at it and say, this is a situation we're in, this is what we need to do?
I think one of the top things that parents and carers can do is to really try to build a connection with your child as they are. So for some children and young people, the kind of things that they're interested in or what they enjoy doing, it might look unexpected in some ways at times, where maybe you might not understand why they play the way they do or why they're so passionate about the things that they really love. But if you can spend time just trying to get to know what it is that they love about that thing and joining in with them, it will really help with building connections. And connection is the basis for all communication. So in order for communication to happen better, children and young people really respond well if they know that their parent gets them. Even if they might not understand what it is about that thing that they love, if they're joining in and they're happy to do so, that really, really helps with building connections. I'd say another thing that can really help is continuing to use your home language, especially if that's the language that you feel most comfortable speaking in. So there is, maybe a myth that autistic children can't learn more than one language, or it might be confusing, so we should just stick to speaking English. But all the research is saying that actually there are so many benefits to continuing your home language, and English will always be the dominant language at school. It might be the only opportunity to learn it when you're at home, so continuing to do so and not feeling worried that if your child is autistic you should just stick to English. Just continue to speak the language that you're comfortable using.
So Grania, what we normally find with different communities, and particularly South Asian, Afro-Caribbean communities, first of all, no one is given a book of life, which always might help, but then it might be so complex no one understands it anyway. But the other thing is that if you're living the life of a typical person who's bringing up families, how are they able to pick up these, that my child here might be slightly different They might have extra needs. I need to go and speak to someone who's a specialist. The other problem they often have is we find a lot of communities, they don't like engaging with that particular specialist because they might speak a different language. And the other thing is, even if they speak the same language, it's so medically strong that no one seems to understand. So what we're looking for is where they can actually have services which are appropriate and where they can go to get that information, because I think that's very, very important for a lot of the communities.
Yeah. I think if your child is in school or in nursery, that's a really good place to start seeking support from them. They will often have staff who are able to translate or will know your child really well as well, so that there's, I guess, less barriers around communication there. I think Christina mentioned that every school and nursery will have a SENCO, which is the Special Educational Needs Coordinator, and they're often really well placed to help families with making referrals or to explain things in their home language that they may not understand. So I would say definitely school or nursery as a first place. For children who are not yet at school, I would also suggest that they could speak to a family support worker at the children's centre. Again, they'll often, have backgrounds in community languages and be able to translate for them as well. And the children's centres, they often have. It might be easier to get to speak to somebody than it is, say, a GP or a health visitor. So I would recommend going to speak to them as well. There are community support groups for parents as well. There's the Newham Parent Carer Forum. There's also MenCap, and they do parent drop-ins. They've got a Facebook group and WhatsApp as well. So parents there can often find, other parents in a similar situation to them who maybe speak the same language as well.
Well, that's very, very important. The other thing is that in our communities, if we go back many years, we wouldn't have understood this. So it's very, very complex, because within our communities we try to find answers ourselves, and often sometimes they could be right, but sometimes the questions that are posed to us is like, my child is slightly different, or they're totally misbehaving all the time, and that's they struggle with that, so they don't know, so they make up their own mind. One of the things that we often have in our communities is that someone has put an evil eye on your child, so you must go to someone to fix the problem. And they always paint the problem as the child is the problem. It's not you, it's not parenting, it's not anything else. So how do you overcome those sort of things? Or do you come across that as well?
Yeah, of course we come across that a lot. So within our team we offer parent training. So one of the main parent trainings that we offer is about autism. It's called CERTS for Parents and Carers in Newham. And we do hear that a lot. Parents share with us and they explain to us their experiences before getting a diagnosis and after, and maybe pressure or misinformation that they've had from extended family members. I think the most important thing for those parents is an attitude of support and acceptance, that actually to parent an autistic child you are going to have to do things differently than how you parent your other children, and it can be really, really difficult for the parents to do that if they don't have the support of their extended family. So we would always recommend, if a parent is coming on our training, to please bring the other parent or a friend or an extended family member, because maybe Christina can speak to this a bit more, but if you're the only one receiving the information and you're the only one trying to do things differently, that can be really isolating and actually almost difficult or impossible to do. It takes the whole community to raise the child.
The village,
yeah, absolutely.
I suppose it's the worst, not the worst part, but the first part is for the parents to accept that this is the situation, this is what it is. A lot of the parents do say, "Oh no, my child's not. There's nothing wrong with him. There's nothing wrong with her. It's fine. It's just a normal behaviour." That pattern,
and that's a stigma across the whole of society, actually. We are, as professionals, working really hard to change. And you said that there might be a lot of misinformation in the South Asian communities, but also it's important to remember that even professional Western knowledge of autism has changed massively over the last 10 to 15 years. So it's something that's constantly evolving and changing, and it is hard to keep up with, even if you're working in the field. What's current thinking and what's best practice. So it's a challenge that we all face. I think what really helps is just an attitude of acceptance that not everybody will do things the same. So there might be a child who is not able to sit still and stay quiet in a faith space, perhaps, or maybe they'll go to a family party but they don't really enjoy it, and they might get easily overwhelmed, and that to some people can look like misbehavior. They're having a tantrum, they're being really difficult, but it's about understanding that actually some children find noise and busy environments extremely overwhelming, and they need maybe a space to go to. So I think the best thing that as a community member we can all do to support people within the community is to ask, what does your child need? How can I help them to join in and be a part of the community? So it might be the party example. Maybe if you are having a party, maybe you ask the parents before they come, can I make a quiet space, maybe in the room where all the coats go, or something that they can go to, so they can still join in, but maybe their joining in doesn't look the same as everybody else's.
But you think, with the youngsters, say if there's a little bit of an age gap between children in the family, and the older ones are more domineering, and they're pushing the younger one, into their way of thinking, does that cause problems as well sometimes, that brings things on?
That's interesting. I guess it can. I think in my experience, from what I've seen, often siblings can be one of the biggest supports and the biggest advocates for their sibling, and often they're the ones who know exactly how to play with the autistic child in a way that they can join in, and can be their biggest advocates at school. Say if other children misunderstand them, they might be the ones to speak up and say, actually my brother just does things differently. So I guess every family is different, every family is unique, and every situation is different, so I guess it could go both ways.
Because a lot of the family, now, I don't know about nowadays, but so much, we've always had dinner on the table together. The whole family sits together, talk about things, what they've been through the whole day, what's been happening. So that makes a lot of difference as well.
You mean like a
family chat? Daily family updates, as to say. Instead of texting each other, you sit on the table and physically talk to each other while eating.
Well, I guess because what you're talking about is inclusion, and that's really really important. That we're not leaving autistic children and young people out of experiences, but it may be that we might have to do things a little bit differently for them. So you mentioned about talking rather than texting, and actually that's an interesting one, because I do work with some young people who actually communicate much better through text than they would do through talking. So the parents having an understanding that actually when he comes home from school, he may not want to talk to me about what happened today, but maybe in an hour or two he might text my phone and tell me about what happened, or the good things or the bad things. So kind of having an acceptance that people communicate in different ways.
I suppose the main objective is communication.
Through any means.
Absolutely. That is absolutely. I mean, it's shocking to see, but that's the reality of the world nowadays. I mean, there are more and more situations happening, and we've got to be more aware. And guys like you, I mean, you are an expert. You are working in the field. You are aware of all the signs. So it's a process that's got to be given as an education package to parents or to families, and to tell them that these are the signs, these are simple little things which you need to look out for.
Well, we would definitely see it as a collaborative approach. So although we might be in our professional role, parents and other family members are going to be experts in their own child. So that's why we all need to work together, because we'll bring a certain piece to the table, but then the family have got a really key piece to bring as well. Education, all of that, everyone working together.
I like that thought about collaboration, and also building the bigger jigsaw together, which is really really important. The other thing which we often find with communities is when they go and speak to someone who's specialist, they'll talk in terms, particularly of autism, but they'll say ADHD, or we're not sure. So that's confusing for people as well. So it's not autism. It's not autism. It's ADHD. What's the difference?
Oh, okay.
Sorry, it's a difficult question.
No, that's okay. It's good to think about these things, because in the last few years, I suppose we've again developed our understanding that a lot of these brain differences fall under the umbrella of what we call neurodivergence. So that could include autism, ADHD, dyslexia, dysgraphia, developmental language disorder, lots of different ways of processing information and thinking about things. And often, things like autism, ADHD, dyslexia, although they are separate, they can also overlap quite a lot as well. And it's quite common for someone who's autistic to also have ADHD and dyslexia perhaps as well. So it's often not clear, the boundaries, and it's about, I guess, figuring out what's the most, how can we best help that person that's in front of us. So ADHD would maybe be more around a difficulty with focusing and processing, but then in some situations they might be over-focused on intensely focused on particular piece of information, but that can also happen with autism as well. So the diagnostic teams would be able to advise, a family further around that, but I guess if we just think of it all as an umbrella of neurodivergence and just being different, or, different way of processing information.
That's a fantastic way of dealing with it. One of the things, obviously, we're trying to do today is raise awareness. So even if you're not a parent, one day you'll become a parent, and even if you're not, at least raise the awareness. We're very keen, and obviously Tari is very, very keen, and that's why we're here at the radio station, to let the listeners know that this is out there, this is the situation. You might never come across it, but the thing is, you have to be aware of everything that happens in our communities. And then for inclusion, that's very, very important, because then you've got to look at people's different perspective. Could give you a good example. My son was working for the National Autistic Society, and his experience was such that he spoke to one of the people, and he said, "I'll see you on Monday." And the person literally waited for them until Monday, and it was Friday on that particular day. And then it's about language, and it's also about what what the messages we're sending out. So we need to make people aware that if we're saying something, some people might take it very, very literally. You see, that's very important.
Get anxious, definitely. And there's this, again, something that we've really improved our knowledge and understanding around is that, I guess it's a myth that a lot of people might still believe that autistic people maybe don't feel empathy as much, or they don't understand, they don't, care about other people's feelings, but actually, I know so many autistic people, as Christina said, who are really sensitive towards other people's feelings and might actually feel other people's feelings really intensely. So there's now better understanding that actually it's what we call a double empathy problem, that the responsibility isn't just on the autistic person to make themselves better understood. It's also on the neurotypicals to make sure that we're giving information in a way that an autistic person can understand well, and that we're reading their cues. Again, another myth, we might say autistic people don't use any facial expressions, but actually it might just look a little bit different. It might be more subtle, or it might be that a certain facial expression to them means something different than what it would do to a neurotypical person. So it's about meeting in the middle and trying to make sure that we're both doing the work around communication.
One of the things, Tari will agree with me, that what we've seen in the last few years, there is discussion, and it's open discussion. One of the big things that happened particularly in Indian cinema, was Amir Khan. Amir Khan plays a very, very big part in our life, because what he came out with a film called Tare Zameen Par, stars on the earth, on the floor. And the idea really was, he was looking at dyslexia, he also looked at autism, and you've got a young child who his parents are just thinking he's just really naughty and he's not listening, and all the teachers have decided that this is a person they're not going to be spending much time with. And then he comes in as a new teacher, and he's a clown, and he's funny, and he makes everyone laugh and look at things in a different perspective. So we've seen a movement there, but there's a long, long way to go. And you're absolutely right when you're coming with that answer about, it's not the case that European or Western medicine and people in that particular sphere know everything now. No. We're still all learning, and that's very, very important. But we should use every single media and every opportunity to open up this discussion. It's very, very important.
Yeah, and to learn from each other as well, because it's not necessarily that one way is the correct way. There are many, many ways of doing things and of raising children and of being a community. So, yeah, we all just need to learn from each other.
Yeah, no, definitely. And now, overall, where can people get help? What do they need to do to get in touch? And what's the process? So people listening in now, what's the first step for them?
Well, I mean, I can share some information about our parent and carer training. So that can be found on the Newham local offer website, which is families.newham.gov.uk. So you can look in the directory for a specialist education support service and language communication interaction service. So all of our parent and carer training is available on there.
Right.
You don't have to have a confirmed diagnosis of autism to come on the training, just as long as your child has some social communication needs or differences. You could also speak to your child's school or nursery, because they will also have all that information and be able to signpost you to other places as well.
Right.
And the parent carer support groups can be found on the Newham local offer webpage as well. So there's MenCap, and there's also Newham Parent Carer Forum and some others on there as well. Maybe Christina might be able to share a little bit more about other places to access support in the community, so I'll just pass over to her.
Definitely, more the merrier, because all the information put together and sort of shared with the listeners, it's always important, because that's something which they really need to sort of make the move. Christina?
So I will say, so some of the work that's been delivered by the Newham Action Plan is we've done a situational mutism survey.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, situational mutism is an anxiety disorder that prevents those affected from being able to talk in certain situations.
Right.
So like myself, I get that at times. So doing this survey meant we were reaching out to a community where we're offering support, where they're able to access services which they probably wouldn't normally be able to on their own.
Yeah.
So that was a good thing. We've also done a patient-led World Cafe report, so supporting autistic patients at Newham Hospital.
Right.
So just the communities coming together, whether they are parents or carers of autistic individuals or they are autistic, just having your say to be able to access the NHS services and such, and ways that it can be easier on them and just more accessible. And also now we've got like self-referrals, so for adults and children. So before it was a long process of someone having to refer you. You go to GP, you wait. Now it's self-referral,
which is good.
Which I think is lighten the load a lot more.
Because you don't have to tell anyone. You just do it yourself.
Because I will say, before I got diagnosed, so maybe about 7 or 8 years ago, I remember downloading on the National Autistic Society, there was a template. You could download it, print it, take it to your GP to say, can I be referred? I did that. I took it to my GP and she laughed in my face.
No way.
And said, you're not autistic, you're just a little bit depressed and anxious, and sent me away. So we've come a long way, like I said, and I'm just happy to be a part of this and just to spread the word.
No, that's really good.
Just to help others to understand.
So things are improving.
Definitely, I will say.
Especially with the electronic, systems, and where you can just like self-refer. It is the best thing. You don't need anybody.
Definitely.
That's excellent. That's brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. Well, guys, time's up. The hour has just flown by, and it's all over. We'd love to have you back in the studio once again, at another date. So, Shahid will, I'm sure, we'll fix that. But thank you very much for sharing all your.
So much.
Thank you.
That was really, really enlightening, and it's absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
Have a fantastic day. Thank you very much, Christina and Grana.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And Gronya, thank you very much for sharing, especially the expertise side. You said you're not an expert, but I think knowing and sharing the knowledge which you have is absolutely fantastic. For a lot of the listeners, the questions we asked as normal individuals, which you answered in a best possible way to guide them for help. And the website once again, the Newham one,
families.newham.gov.uk.
They can find everything there.
Yep.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Time's up. Coming up next is the Punjabi program. Shahid, take care. See you next Friday.
Thank you so much, Tari.
Enjoy your weekend and your Friday.
Thank you.
I've chosen this song.
Okay.
Christina? You know this one? Crickets, tropical, wham.
Ships a smiling face, broad shoulders with the stars, where strangers take you by the hand and welcome you to Wonderland from beneath their Panamas. The Tropicana drinks are free, fun and sunshine, there's enough for everyone. Oh, that's missing is the sea, but don't worry, you can and lovers meet, they kiss and drop in sea. Watch the waves break on the bay. Oh, sunrise sands a blue lagoon, dark downtown stand of tune. All night holiday. Top traffic cottage drinks are free. Fun and sunshine, there's enough for everyone. Whoa, that's missing is the sea. world never shifts a smiling face. Brush shoulders with the stars, where strangers take you by the hand and welcome you to Wonderland from beneath their planet Mars. The Tropicana drinks are free. Fun and didn't know what time it was, the lights were low, oh, oh. I leaned back on my radio, oh, oh. Some cat was laying down some rock and roll, that is all he said.